So I read a nice Dvar Torah on this week's parasha from Rabbi Yair Khan. Rabbi Yair Khan is our Rabbi Khan's brother. So he has a nice Dvar Torah on the beginning of the parasha. This is Perek Kafei Pasuk Tet Zayin. So it starts off by the Ber Adonai Moshe Lemor, and Hashem spoke to Moshe saying, Tzror ta Midyanim v'kitem otam, go and attack the Midyanim, go fight them because they were terrible to you guys, and they made you do Dvar Peor, they made you sin with Avodah Zarah, Val Davar Kozbi, Bat Nesim Midyan Achotam, and the whole story of Kozbi with the head of the tribe of Shimon, and the sin with the Moabite women and the Midianite women, and the day of that great Magefa, the great plague that hit the Jewish people. And then the very next pasuk has something very strange. It has what's known as a piska be'emtza pasuk, a space in the middle of the pasuk. So we're going to have a couple of words, then a massive space, like a bunch of tabs were hit on the computer, and then the pasuk ends. So the pasuk says, this is now Perek Kavav, pasuk Aleph, Vayhi achroya magefa, and it was after the plague, and there's a big space in the Sefer Torah, and then it says, Vayomar Adonai Moshe ben Elazar ben Aaron Kohen lemor, and God spoke to Moshe and Elazar, the son of Aaron the Kohen, saying, and the next pasuk says, Su et rosh kol bnei Israel, go and count all the Jewish people from 20 years and older, and it's going to go on and count all the tribes and all the families, all the members of the tribes of the Jewish people. So what's the weird space in this pasuk? It says, and it was after the plague, big space, in the same pasuk, and then it says Moshe, God tells Moshe and Elazar, go and count the Jewish people, and then it goes on to go through the whole count of the Jewish people. So what's going on? So says Rabbi Yair Khan that to answer this question, let's go back to another spot in the Torah where we have a weird space in the middle of a pasuk. So if you go back all the way back to the book of Bereshit, Parashat Vayishlach, right after Rachel Imenu dies, so it says, this is Perek Lamed Hey, Pasuk Kaf Bet, Vayhi Bishkon Yisrael Ba'aretz Ahi, and Israel was dwelling in that land, Vayelech Reuven, Vayishkav et Bilha Pilegesh Aviv, and Reuven went and he slept with Bilha, his father's wife, Vayishma Yisrael, and Yisrael heard, and then there's a big space in the Pasuk, tab, and then it says in the Torah, in the same pasuk, Vayu bnei Yaakov shnemasar, and the sons of Yaakov were 12. So why is there a big space in that pasuk? Like, what's going on over there? Okay, so over there, a lot of commentaries say a similar idea, that Reuven did a big sin. He messed with Bilha. What does that mean? Did he actually sleep with her? Or like the Gemara brings down an interpretation that he moved the beds and he switched his mother's bed so that Yaakov would be his main bed would be with his mother Leah. And that whatever he did, it was considered to be a terrible, terrible sin. And this sin is so bad that for the rest of Reuven's life, he's tormented by it. He's constantly trying to do tshuva for it. And part of what Reuven was worried about was, maybe my sin was so bad that I should be kicked out of the Jewish people. Maybe I can't be a tribe. Maybe I lost it all. And if you look at the Targum on the pasuk, so says the Targum, it's in Aramaic, but we'll say it over in English over there, that when this is the Targum Yonatan ben Uziel, he says when. It says, when Yisrael was in that land, and Reuven went to and he messed with the beds, and messing with the beds is keneged, is like messing with doing, is like as if he slept with her, even though it was only messing with the beds. So according to the Targum, it's going with the interpretation that he didn't actually sleep with her, but he just messed with the beds. And when Yisrael heard what happened, he got upset. And he said, Vai, woe. Shema yatsa mimeno ben pesul k'mo sheyatsa Yishmael Avraham ve'esav me'aba. Maybe Reuven is pasul, just like Yishmael came out of Avraham, and just like Esav came out of my father Yitzchak. Maybe he's just a bad son. Heshiva Ruach HaKodesh v'amra lo. The Ruach HaKodesh responded to him and said, Al tira, don't be worried. Shekulam tzadikim ve'ein b'hem pesul. They're all holy. Nobody's pasul. She'me'achar shenolad Benyamin hayu bnei Yaakov shnemasar. Because after Benyamin was born, there's 12 sons, and all sons are equal to be tribes. So basically, what's the pause in the pasuk? The pause in the pasuk was that fear, was that moment where we're in safek, we're in doubt. What's going to be? Yaakov's wondering, what's going to happen? Is it all over? Is one of my tribes done? Is Reuven not part of the Jewish people? And he's going back and forth. And it's like the big breath that we take in the middle of the pasuk. What's going to be? Is Reuven lost? And the pasuk says, and Reuven sins. But don't worry, there's going to be 12 tribes. Reuven is not lost. Even though he's sinned, he's still part of the Jewish people. It wasn't lost. But that pause is that moment of tension, of fear. What's going to be with the Jewish people? And what happens? It's going to be okay. Says Rabbi Yair Khan, the exact same thing is happening in our parasha. We had this terrible plague that hit the Jewish people. Why did it happen? It happened because the head of the tribe of Shimon sinned with this Midianite woman, and then 24,000 people are going to die in this plague because they're going to be sinning as well with the Moabites, with the Midianites. They're sitting with the women over there. And if you actually look at the number counts, so the rabbis note that in the Midrash, that if you look at the numbers, the tribe of Shimon is much smaller right now than it was in the previous count. So what happened? Where did all those people go? So this is one of the proofs, and that the previous count, in the beginning of Sefer Bamidbar, the tribe of Shimon was 59,300, and now they're only 22,000. So what happened? So a lot of the commentators say, the Ramban goes out like, we must see over here that 24,000 that were lost, they probably all came from the tribe of Shimon, because Shimon was that tribe that messed up. And at the end of the Torah, when Moshe blesses the tribes, he doesn't bless the tribe of Shimon. Why doesn't he bless them? The Chazal say they're blessed in the general blessing, but the specific tribe is not blessed. Why? Because Moshe said, the tribe of Shimon, they're lacking. They don't deserve the blessing because they're to blame for that great plague that took place, for that great sin with Baal Peor that happened in the last week's parasha. Until Pinchas saved us, more Jews would have died. So, what's the pause? Says Rabbi Khan. This is Rabbi Yair Khan. The pause is right now. The parasha starts off, and we have this plague. Maybe because of this plague, the tribe of Shimon won't be counted. This pause is like the exact same pause we had with Reuven. We're now having the tribe of Shimon. Maybe they're not going to be part of the Jewish people either. Maybe they're done with. But then God tells Moshe and tells Elazar, count the Jewish people. Count even the tribe of Shimon. And if you look at the count, the tribe of Shimon is counted in this count. It's true. They lost a lot of people. They lost 24,000 in the plague. But you know what? They're still part of the Jewish people. They still made it in. And I think that's the lesson over here. So this is Rabbi Khan. That's the lesson over here by Reuven. Now it's the lesson again by Shimon, that even though we sin, and sometimes we sin really, really big, but Hashem still comes along and says, you know what? They should still be part of the Jewish people. Shabbat Shalom.